all the way from him at Bristol to be with us this afternoon.
One last chance for Worcester to deliver a home win this season, and against the neighbours too, but it didn't look very likely after the first quarter. Gloucester's Johnny May surely sprinting his way into a trip to New Zealand with England, a try of the season contender just in time. And 3 minutes later, Shane Monaghan, fresh from a hat-trick last weekend, scored again. And the Warriors look set to share Rotherham's fate of 10 years ago and finish winless in front of their own fans. That seemed certain when Gloucester crossed for the third time in 11 minutes. Ben Morgan bundled over, and the visitors led by 14. Which is when Worcester began to take that last chance, first with a maul try of their own. Replacement Samisi Talavar following his score against Saracens a week ago on his final appearance for the club to halt the cherry and white bandwagon. May followed his first contribution with a rather less impressive offside hack to pick up a yellow card. And against 14, the fight back was continued by a player born in Gloucester. Ryan Lamb scooted his way over his first try for the club, and Worcester trailed by just 2 at the turnaround. Dean Ryan had described this game as the start of preparation for next season, and a win over his former club would have been part of the plan. Lamb's crossfield kick and Josh Drowninghu's dancing feet past Steph Reynolds moved that within range. But far from decisively, and when May completed his first Premiership brace for more than a year, Gloucester led once again. A lack of discipline saw that advantage disappear. Fullback Rob Cook sin-binned this time. And Lamb was on the mark once again on his way to an 18-point haul. It all meant that Worcester led by 1 when Freddie Burns stepped up to the last kick of the game and his last kick for the club before heading to Leicester. But for once, the Warriors' heartbreaking season had a happy ending. Something for 6 ways to savour. Next season's local derby will be against Moseley in the Championship.
After a tough opening fixture away to the Falcons, Saracens played their first home game of the season in round 2 against the newly promoted Bristol Bears. And it took the home team only 5 minutes to get on the scoreboard. Good build-up play from the forwards, creating space out wide for Matt Gallagher to dot down. With people expecting Sarries to pull away, the Bears fought back. A beautiful crossfield kick from Callum Sheedy finding Alapati Leua to make the score 7-all. 2 penalties from Sheedy and then 2 in reply for Farrell made the score 13-all just before the break. But a weak knock-on from Vaianu gave the Bears the opportunity to capitalise before half-time, and they did so through a great finish from Leua for his second to give Bristol an 18-13 advantage at the break. Sarries started the second half the same way they began the first. Rhodes with the line-out steal eventually finding its way to Alex Lewington, who brought the scores level once more. Then the turning point in the match. George Smith was deemed to make contact with Jackson Ray's head directly from his shoulder, and that led to a red card. Saracens soon took advantage with the extra man, and Billy Vanapola crossed in his return from injury. 3 minutes later, Liam Williams grabbed his first try of the afternoon after some slick hands, making the score 30 points to 18 and giving Saracens the bonus point. In the 69th minute, Williams sniped around the ruck to score his second, making it 37-18, before Nick Haining scored for a well-deserved consolation for the Bears. The hat-trick came for Williams in the 77th minute. A lovely cross-field kick from Farrell landing in the delighted winger's arms. Final score, 44-23 to Saracens.
Quins were the latest team to challenge Sale's proud unbeaten home record this season at the AJ Bell. The visitors have been struggling to find a win, with their only victory in the last 6 fixtures at home to Leicester Tigers in round 13. It was a battle between the outside halves for the first half an hour. Making his first start in the Aviva Premiership this season, Joe Ford scored the opening points. 3 kicks from the brother of the England number 10 and 2 by Ben Botica saw the score at 9-6 to the home side before the first try. And it was the away side's outside half who was instrumental in the first score. Tito Tebaldi failed to gather a high ball before Botica saw a huge gap down the left wing, and Scotland international winger Tim Visser was on hand to score. Sale's reply in the second half wasn't as pleasing on the eye, but was pretty effective. With the support of the forwards and a few members of the back line, TJ Ioane managed to ground the ball over the line to take the Sharks back into the lead. Joe Ford's conversion extending the gap to 16-13 with over half an hour remaining. Marlon Yard's afternoon came to an end 2 minutes later. The Harlequins flyer landed awkwardly after being tackled by David Seymour and looked devastated as he walked off the pitch carrying his arm. Harlequins' defence opened for the Sharks after 62 minutes, when Sam James stepped inside, beating Luke Wallace's tackle. He managed to offload the ball to Will Addison, who fended off Tibaldi's efforts, before racing his way toward the whitewash, the conversion opening a 10-point deficit between the two sides. With a 4 point secured for the home side, it was Quins who had the last say. Replacement scrum half Sam Edgerton peeling off a maul to score his first Aviva Premiership try. Ben Botica's conversion resulting in a losing bonus point for Conor O'Shea's men. But Sale Sharks' unbeaten home run continues. The final score, Sale Sharks 29, Harlequins 23.
Leicester Tigers began the new Aviva Premiership season at Welford Road, bidding to cope with 11 World Cup absentees, and the Exeter Chiefs wasted no time in taking advantage. Inside the first minute, centre Sereli Nakalavuki broke through some shaky defending for the opening try. Leicester's makeshift lineup was also missing new signing Matthew Tate, a late withdrawal from the starting 15, but they responded superbly. Inside 3 minutes, Thomas Waldrom had charged over, and Billy Twelvetrees converted to level the scores. And after just 8 minutes, teenage fly half George Ford marked his first Premiership start with a drop goal, and the Tigers led. Ignacio Mieres soon levelled with a penalty for the Chiefs, before Waldrom created the opportunity for Tate's replacement, Niall Morris, to go over in the corner. But back came the Chiefs, number 8 Richard Baxter starting and finishing the attack, which levelled the score. And by half-time, the kicking of Mieres had moved Exeter into an 8-point lead. And the visitors began the second half much as they did the first, Matt Jess breaking through for their third try. But after Billy Twelvetrees reduced the arrears, Waldrom and Morris combined again in identical fashion for the wingers' second try of the game. Now leading by just 2, the Chiefs had a number of chances to pull away, but replacement fly half Gareth Steenson missed 2 penalty attempts, and when a third struck the woodwork, the stage was set for a late Tigers fight back. Sure enough, twice they created a platform for Ford to snatch the win, but the teenager missed with both drop goal attempts, and the Chiefs, who launched their last campaign with a win over Gloucester, were off and running again with a famous victory. Final score, Leicester 28, Exeter 30. Bath made an absolutely flying start to this game, and they were certainly a little too quick for the referee. Irish weren't happy with Luke Pearce's unintended role in the home side's opening try just 4 minutes in.
Advantage to offside.
But the player who scored it held no surprises. Jonathan Joseph over for his second try at the Rec since joining from the Exiles in the summer. Or was he?
Keith, do you have me? Any reason I can't award the try, please? Try scored, Keith.
Keith Lewis was happy, and for the rest of the first half, Bath were unstoppable. They'd finished strongly in a losing cause at Saracens last Sunday with 2 unanswered tries in the second period. Here all the damage was done in the opening 40. From George Ford's quick thinking, play was waved on and Guy Mercer walked over. Topsy Ojo, the defender, and Irish thought the line out had been called their way.
Thanks, try on it.
Along with 2 tries in the first quarter, Bath also lost 2 players to injury. But while Dave Atwood and Anthony Watson departed, the game's standout performer was everywhere. Ford off and running from 60 metres and just holding off Marlon Yard, once again according to the busy TMO. With that, the outcome was as good as settled, and 3 minutes later it certainly was. Bath showing the power to match Ford's flair, as hooker Rob Webber finished off a conventional catch and drive, and the home side had the try bonus inside half an hour. As if to prove that he is human after all, the 20-year-old number 10 missed the conversion, and then he was found somewhat wanting in defence as Irish registered a try of their own. Ford unable to stop his opposite number Shane Geraghty's charge to the line. But the visitors' faint flicker of a fight back vanished within a minute as Bath simply surged forward once again. This time Irish couldn't blame either the officials or Ford's brilliance. The defence simply absent as Mercer went over for try number 5 and his second. 33-10 up at the break, the host proceeded to switch off completely. Despite yellow cards for both David Pace and Jamie Hagan in the second half, Irish and Geraghty scored the game's remaining points. But a third win for Bath will be a real handful when they produce 2 good halves in the same game.
The game started in dramatic fashion when the Saints were awarded a penalty try, and Wasps hooker
Penalty try. Nigel, can you identify that player underneath?
Rhys Thomas was sent to the sin bin. 7 points to 0. Reduced to 7-3 with a long-range Elliot Daly penalty for the Wasps. But then Lee Dixon once more increased the lead for the Saints with a try, acting like a good flanker this scrum half. 12 points to 3 before a moment of magic by Tom Varndell. A superb long-range try, demonstrating all his pace. Brought Wasps back into the game again. Stephen Jones with the conversion made it 12-10 and then kicked a penalty to make it 13-12. The Wasps in the lead. The Saints bounced back to score another try though. After consultation with the TMO, referee awarded the try to Dylan Hartley, the Saints skipper. The try converted brilliantly into the win by Stephen Myler, 19 points to 13. Before Stephen Jones again, just before half-time with another penalty, reduced the lead to 19-16 to the Saints. Stephen Jones kicked a penalty to bring the sides level again at 19-all before Elliot Daly crossed in the corner for a try awarded by the TMO Graham Hughes. 24-19 to the Wasps. Then with the clock going into the red zone right at the end, the Saints snatched a dramatic victory for their 8th successive victory over the London Wasps. Christian Day back in action after a long period out through injury, drove on towards the line, aided by Brian Mujati wearing 18 and Dylan Hartley the skipper. The try was awarded. It was down to the last kick of the game for the outside half Stephen Myler. He kicked it. Northampton Saints had ended up winners by 26 points to 24.